you'll see the face-off guys, they'll kind of float back and forth between the squads, and even some rotations among the goalies. Kyle Bernlar expected to see time on both ends, but to start the game here, we'll have Brian Phipps in white, Jack Kincannon in blue.
Getting a look at Kincannon, his second straight opportunity, getting a chance to wear the red, white, and blue. Also part of that U.S. Fall Classic team that competed against Canada back in the fall. Opening faceoff won initially by the white squad. The loose ball picked up by Michael Earhart. And the white team gets the first possession here this morning.
Earhart just a vacuum on the wings for Team USA.
Marcus Holman, part of this white roster, along with Mikey Schlosser, who's coming out of the box right there. Moves over to Jake Fricaro. Had a tough shooting day yesterday. A lot of opportunities, couldn't cash many of them in. Connor Busick gets the hands free, just a little wide. Justin Gutterding. His first chance to suit up for Team USA this weekend. Playing for his old college coach in Danowski. Remember, international rules, so no possession clock. As Matt Cavanaugh now, working for this white roster. Got a chance to talk to his younger brother, if you were with us earlier, Pat Cavanaugh, part of the U19 team for Team USA, and boy, did he have a nice day so far.
Great hustle there by Marcus Holman, chasing down the errant shot on the sideline to keep possession, and already you can tell the intensity, the pace, the tempo here, really high.
Remember, this U.S. men's national team playing all together as one team yesterday had to come back in the fourth quarter to beat Japan. Schlosser, tough angle, just wide. Long extended offensive set here to open up this blue-white exhibition. Schlosser dodges. Somebody got a piece of his stick. Ball's loose. Scooped up by blue.
And that was good help defense from Jesse Bernhardt coming in after Schlosser got a step on Will Haas. Bernhardt dislodging the ball and bringing it back to USA Blue.
First chance to see this roster of offensive players. There is Will Manny, number 9 in that navy blue penny. Sends it behind to Jules Henningberg. Two of them worked on the same attack line yesterday in that game against Japan. There is the hero from the 2018 World Championship gold medal game, Tom Schreiber, running out of the midfield for this blue roster. Loose ball in the middle, eventually scooped up by John Crawley. Chanachuk also in this first midfield, joined by Ryan Brown. Skip pass across, and it couldn't find its way to Will Manny. Scooped up by Johnny Surdick.
You saw Schreiber there with the attempted pass. A lot of what you hear about guys, if they haven't played with Schreiber before, is they're almost surprised sometimes when the ball lands at their stick. You know, it actually takes some time to get used to playing with someone who has such tremendous vision. He's always looking to make those through feeds, those skip feeds, and you know that there's an adjustment that comes with that.
He sees passes that most other people don't believe are there. Here's Fricaro, dodging from the wing. Now Busick, trying to get downhill, good defense. Extra pass to Fricaro, spins and scores. Jake Fricaro on the board first.
What you like out of the White offense here, and specifically Fricaro, is he takes the feed from Heacock, and instead of just dropping and shooting, gives himself
number 15,
a much
Jake Fricaro.
better chance and a much better look at the goal by taking that dodge to the inside.
Mentioned the shooting from Jake Fricaro earlier. He had a bunch of opportunities in that game against Japan yesterday. He wasn't able to capitalize too often, but he's a guy that when he gets hot as a shooter, it can be one of the best in the world.
Yeah, and you can say the same about a guy like Connor Busick or Mike Chanenchuk. Those guys, when they get into a rhythm and they start getting some momentum, they're unstoppable, and they're volume shooters. So, you know, shooters got to shoot, as they say, and that's what their role is here. It was, as you mentioned, a very tough shooting day for the U.S. against Japan yesterday. Japanese goalies were
really
lights
good, yeah.
out as well. They hit some posts. Again, talking to Will Manny after that game, he said he watched the first half from the sideline. He said, we were getting our looks. There was nothing wrong with the way we were playing offense. Just weren't able to stick them and ran into some bad luck. Fortune went their way in the fourth quarter. They were able to make the comeback and win that game.
Mikey Schlosser, after the White squad won the face-off. That pass intercepted by Kincannon. Looking for, I believe, Holman there on the backside of the cage. Steve DiNapoli brings it over midfield. Short stick D-Mitty. Going to try to be back in the mix for 2022. Obviously, heartbreak for him. We mentioned it yesterday. Got hurt in the lead up to those 2018 World Championships. He would have been in Israel with that team, but a knee injury he suffered that summer kept him out. No look feed down to Will Manny, and that's about as easy as it gets. Manny and the Blue Squad answer.
Goal for Team Blue, number 28, Michael Earhart.
How about that no-look feed down low to Manny? And again, Manny's a guy that is always expecting the ball, no matter who has it. He's got his stick. He's ready in shooting position, and the quick finish down low.
Well, Archer's combination from the Premier Lacrosse League season is Tom Schreiber with the look-away pass to Will Manny. And a face-off win here for Blue. And they get the ball right back.
And having played with Schreiber, Manny expects that.
Yes.
Right? And that's what we talked about earlier. He's always looking to make that through feed, and he might not be looking at you when he makes that pass.
Dodging in, a stop. Brian Phipps steals away a save and quickly up ahead the other way. Good play by Matt Dunn to keep possession and get an offensive set for the white team. Earhart moves it along. Holman, a near impossible angle, and he finishes. A low to high rip from Marcus Holman.
Some great handle by the U.S. white team polls here, and it's Earhart finding Holman.
Goal for
with
Team
just
White,
a sliver
number 1,
of
Marcus
space
Holman.
with which to operate, but such a smooth release, tucks it inside that
Assisted
top
by number
left
28,
corner.
Michael Earhart.
Man. Doesn't need much space, huh?
Well, when Holman shoots, he gets this spin on the ball that it's pretty remarkable. It's something you might expect to see a baseball do, from like a pitcher pitching a curveball, and he can kind of seeing eye shots from the wings that he's so good at.
Blue team wins a face-off, gets possession back. Looking to answer Holman's goal here. Mike Chanenchuk running out of the midfield. Joined now by Sergio Perkovic. Got a chance to see Perkovic play a little defense as well in this weekend for Team USA. Mainly known as an offensive midfielder when he played at Notre Dame. Played a little bit more two-way action in the PLL this season. And around the horn they go. Another goal for Blue. Able to answer to tie things up. Chanachuk.
Goal, Team Blue, number 2, Michael Chanachuk.
Back and forth we go in this blue-white scrimmage. Again, it's Schreiber with his second assist of the day.
Assisted by number
Spinning
26,
it around the
Tom
horn.
Schreiber.
Sees Chanachuk. First goal of the weekend for Chanachuk, and really nice, sweet stroke from the outside.
I think Tom Schreiber rolls out of bed and he gets a couple of assists just for waking up. What a distributor he is of the ball.
Yeah, we really didn't really see much of Schreiber against Japan yesterday. He didn't play any of the first half. Got some run in the third quarter. But you got the sense in yesterday's game that the coaches wanted to see the host of other players that they were not necessarily as familiar with. Today, with everyone out on the field in this intra-squad scrimmage, you'll get an extended look at some of the veterans that we came to see have such an impact in Israel.
And remember, Schreiber currently in the middle of an indoor season as well. The Toronto Rock off this week in the NLL, allowing him to come down here and play in the spring premiere. But a lacrosse calendar that never stops for Tom Schreiber. Marcus Holman, I believe, lost his stick there. He was stripped of it. And the turnover gives it back to Blue. Pass to get it across midfield. DiNapoli gets it to the attack unit. Jules Henningberg. So comfortable working as that ex-attackman. Good feed to Ryan Brown. Couldn't get it past Phipps. The other end, Gutterding. Mikey Schlosser puts the brakes on it. Busick dodging out of the box. Flipped all the way back toward midfield.
Very active Jesse Bernhardt down there on the U.S. Blue defense. Playing some long stick midi as well.
And Kavanaugh taking his turn for Max. Kavanaugh spins back and finishes. Just like we saw his younger brother do earlier in the day, Matt Kavanaugh on the board.
Matt Kavanaugh.
The question mark dodge. See him go all the way up to his left, take the pressure, use it to his advantage, turn outside, and disguise that shot angle until the very last second, able to deposit the goal.
Back and forth we go. Under 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Face-off won by Tommy Kelly. Ball ends up back in the stick of Phipps as he looks to clear. Get pressure being put on by the attack unit for the blue team. Matt Dunn able to dance away from some trouble. Matt Dunn's still with it. He shoots and he scores. He got a long pole goal. Matt Dunn says, "You gonna give me this?" It's 4-2, White squad.
Goal for Team White by number 10, Matt Dunn.
Not something you traditionally expect out of Matt Dunn's game, but the blue team pretty much refusing to slide until the very last second, and it's too late, as Dunn takes advantage here in the last minute.
Back-to-back goals. Kavanaugh and Matt Dunn leading us probably to our final face-off here of the first quarter. This one won by Stephen Kelly. 3 seconds to go. And that will do it. So far, so good. Both teams putting on a showcase so far in the blue-white exhibition. We'll be back with the second quarter here from San Antonio. Matt, what stood out to you about that first quarter?
It was a little bit of everything. It was the vision of Tom Schreiber. It was the shooting of Marcus Holman and Will Manny. The handle of poles like Mike Earhart, and we saw Matt Dunn score there at the very end for the white team. And then the quicks behind the goal. Who's going to be that ex-attackman for this U.S. group? The role that Jordan Wolf served in Israel, certainly someone that could be in that mix. But you look at guys like Jules Henningberg and Matt Kavanaugh, and they did a good job distributing from behind the goal.
It's Tommy Kelly wins the opening faceoff here in the second quarter. Connor Busick quickly downhill for the white squad. Schlosser getting his first chance to wear red, white, and blue this weekend. Coming off a good summer with the Denver Outlaws. And feed, not finding the intended recipient. Scooped up by Blue, but the ride by Kavanaugh. Another caused turnover by Kavanaugh. Check out the effort from both sides. Eventually scooped up by Will Haas. Ryan Brown wide. And no backup for the blue, gives it right back to white.
You don't see Ryan Brown miss many of those. Wide open, time and room on the wing. Shot sailed just high. One of the awesome things about watching Ryan Brown shoot is that you never know where the ball is going based on his release point. And it's that guessing game for the goalie that makes it even difficult to contend with, on top of the velocity that he can get on his shots.
Ryan Brown, of course, scoring a team best 25 goals during the World Championships back in 2018 in the summer. Second best World Championship tournament for a player for Team USA all time. Fracaro trying to find Mikey Schlosser, passes low. Pushed away to the corner, but it's out of bounds off of Blue. Schlosser looking for some kind of space here. Fracaro trying to force that one through the defense, and it's knocked down. Good active sticks by this blue defense. Now it's Jake Richard the other way. Henningberg turns, shoots just high. And a backup there from Ryan Brown to keep possession.
Watch these U.S. defenders off the ball. Tons of communication. Their posture is always ready to go. Sticks in the lane. Never taking a play off. These are some of the tenets that they're looking to instill here. Not just the on-ball defense, but what's happening off-ball.
This is John Crawley all the way around the back of the cage. Flips it over to Tom Schreiber. Let's see what he does here with this short stick matchup. Schreiber knocked down. Ball comes out, and here comes White. Jake Bernhardt, another member of that World Championship team in 2018. Extra pass, and that shot is off. Good backup from Henningberg, though. They keep possession.
It was Zach Goodrich with the strip on Schreiber, refusing to back down from that matchup. One of the host of D-Middies here this weekend, looking to be a part of that rope unit.
That's a pretty save from Kyle Bernlohr, who's checked into the game at that end. His first action here in this blue-white exhibition game. Henningberg.
and the coaches are now on the field. Rec style, clinic style. See Coach Janowski, Seth Tierney helping to get things organized.
See Danowski right there in the corner. About as up close and personal as you can get. And that's pass, a tough one from Perkovic. Blue tracks it down to keep the possession, and it's now back to Henningberg behind the cage.
Bet it's been a while since some of these guys had a coach in their ear in the middle of a game.
Yeah.
Out on the field.
Henningberg. Good feed to Brown, but it's kept out. Ball quickly the other way to Jared Newman. Just got to keep an eye on him in transition.
Newman makes those splash plays we've come to know and love, but really impressed in this U.S. setting how he's bought into a lot of the different defensive concepts. Off the ball, on the ball, very disciplined.
Colin Heacock's shot, I think, found the softball field here at the University of the Incarnate Word. Little high, stick was deflected. That pass was rifled in. Holman couldn't handle it. Heacock trying to create a turnover, and he does. Good hustle play from Colin Heacock, keep possession.
He had a couple of those against Japan yesterday as well. He does not take kindly to having the ball taken away from him. He will do everything to get it back.
Holman, Heacock, now Schlosser. Caro, Schlosser, seen a lot of time in the midfield for the white team. Caro wants to take a run. Pass back out top for Caro. Can't find the cage.
Now you see Gutterding operating as that point behind attackman for the U.S. white squad.
Long extended offensive set. Schlosser dodges the alley. Fracaro gets through traffic, moves it along. Gutterding. No room in this blue defense, but Gutterding does draw a flag.
It's Tucker Durkin laying the hammer there on Gutterding. Again, just punishing defender for the U.S. But a couple of those slapjacks, 1, 2, okay, that third one comes down on the forearm and the flag goes up.
Penalty on blue, number 37.
Gutterding taking a
Slash.
couple of shots from Tucker Durkin. Man up for the white team. Schlosser steps in. Now Heacock. Long range shot, and the white squad makes some pay. Connor Busick's got one.
Team white goal by number 33.
Good job by the white
Connor
squad to
Busick.
spread out with the man-up unit. Rotate the ball. Doesn't stay in anyone's stick for too long.
Assisted by number
Busick
5,
sees an opening.
Matt
He's
Cavanaugh.
going to take it. One of the top 2-point shooters in the professional game. has that range and shows it off here on the man up.
Give the assist to Marcus Holman. Man up goal. Under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Some different changes in personnel here. An errant pass there, and White lucky to keep it as Jake Bernhardt gets it back. See Seth Tierney out there right by the 40-yard line. Watching. Fracaro, shot kicked away. Now Gutterning taking another run from X. Now, ball taken away, but a whistle keeps it with White. A timeout for all of the players. I don't know what coach calls the timeout when everybody is coaching the same people. But we pause things here with under 5 minutes to go in this first half. A reminder, Lacrosse's largest educational event is next weekend, LaxCon 2020, January 10th to the 12th in Philadelphia. Get energized for the 2020 season with the latest strategies, drills, rules, and mechanics. Register before January 8th and you save $20. No promo code needed. Just register before January 8th. LaxCon 2020, January 10th through the 12th in Philadelphia. Coach Janowski going to be in attendance as one of the featured speakers next weekend in Philadelphia. Great chance to hear from the head coach of the U.S. men's national team. Jenny Levy, the U.S. women's national team coach, also there. And then you got Kathy Reese, Lars Tiffany, two coaches that won national championships. What a great weekend in Philadelphia U.S. Lacrosse has in store for a week from this weekend.
Yeah, it's not to mention Jim Stagnita.
Yep.
Coach of the PLL champion Whipsnakes. Kelly Monte-Hiller coming off of that U19 Women's World Championship last summer. So plenty of bona fides from whom to learn at LaxCon in Philadelphia.
No shortage of star power. Also see a lot of these players in attendance there at LaxCon. So if you're a fan, chance to mingle, get some autographs, take pictures, chat with some of the best players in the world. And by the way, great attendance this weekend here at the University of the Incarnate Word. Yesterday, these stands were packed at a great clinic, as we've talked about yesterday morning. Great opportunity for U.S. Lacrosse to bring some of the sport's best here to Texas.
Yeah, we're about an hour and a half from Austin, which has a thriving lacrosse scene. Some folks traveling from Dallas as well. You know, it's not many opportunities they get to see this caliber of competition as they have this weekend, and certainly Texas has shown up for the spring premiere.
And you see the Japanese team hanging around. I want to watch the team that they competed against very well yesterday.
One of the cool things about being in this setting, in this blue-white scrimmage, or Team USA in general, is you've got world-class coaches, world-class players, yes, but you've got coaches that love to coach and players that love to be coached. And so they're all in on these weekends, and it's such a special experience for players and coaches alike.
Coming out of the timeout. White squad keeps possession. This is Colin Heacock. Busick has a goal so far today. Holman looking for some space. Skip pass. Out to Busick, left-handed wide.
And that's a good recovery there by Mike Earhart, getting his sticks on Busick's gloves. Keep him from getting much on that shot.
Gutterding. Carl fell down in the crease. Now it's Kavanaugh. Busick splits two. The feed down low couldn't be completed. Push will keep it with White as that ball went over the end line. It's a long offensive possession for White. Holman. For Caro. Now Gutterding. Almost intercepted. Instead, White keeps, draws a flag. And a man up coming for this White squad. This offensive set will continue.
Yeah, and you almost got the sense that maybe in that timeout they said, guys, let's play international lacrosse. We understand you guys are pros. You're going to win your matchups. You're going to want to play pace. But a little bit more methodical here at the end of the second quarter. And I think they might have talked to the officials as well to say, call it a little bit tighter, because that's what happens in the international game. You don't get away with some of those slap checks or some of those push-offs and holds. And the last thing a U.S. outfit needs in an international setting is to be spending time in the penalty box. So we're getting a lot of look at the special teams here.
Gutterding. Around the outside, shot never got through. And Bernlohr looks to clear. Good long outlet pass completed to Jesse Bernhardt. Now this Blue offense that's been standing without much to do for a little while finally gets an opportunity. Under 2 minutes to go. Tough pass coming out of the box there, and right back at you comes White. Gutterding. Pass across. Good look. Pretty finish.
Team White goal by number 1, Marcus Holman.
It's Marcus Holman on the receiving end of the pretty feed, and White back on the board.
Such a slick finisher. Gutterding, great vision to lead Holman in stride. And Holman with multiple fakes and the dive, tucking it down low. So many angles at which he can come at you as a goalie. Some smooth operators there on the U.S. White attack.
Holman's second goal to go along with an assist. Quiet little 3 points he's put together so far in this first half. We're under a minute to go.
Holman was kind of that fourth attackman in Israel, and yet wound up being one of the most productive players in that group as well. And he's a veteran now of 2 U.S. teams, looking here to be in the mix for his third.
We've got a whistle there. This is an unsettled situation for the White team off of that face-off. When you talk about Marcus Holman in 2018's World Championships, 17 goals, 5 assists. Coming off a good season with the Archers this summer as well, where he put up 32 points. And Matt, as you look at these players, all trying to impress this coaching staff in a number of different ways. Any guys that have stood out to you, maybe guys that are getting their first chance to wear red, white, and blue?
I think the place where you can really make an impact are in the positions of need, such as the short stick defensive midfield position. It's interesting to see who's going to emerge as the point behind attackman. Again, we talked about that, and Jules Henningberg. This is not his first go around. He was with the U.S. back at the Fall Classic, but here in the Spring Premier, he seems to have taken another step. He was very actively involved in that fourth quarter comeback yesterday against Japan. Seems much more comfortable operating within the U.S. set today.
See Joe Amplo coaching up blue roster there in that huddle. Amplo getting ready to enter his first season at the Naval Academy. Coming over after really establishing the Marquette program, taking them to a couple of NCAA tournaments. Be fun to see what he does now in a new role at a new school. And then, of course, Seth Tierney, also back on this coaching staff, getting ready for yet another year at Hofstra. Get a chance to see a lot of them on LSN this year. A chance to see his son Ryan play for one more season for the Pride.
And Travis, going back to your question about where the influence can be made in this U.S. group, what happens at the face-off position? You know Trevor Baptiste. You know what you have in him. Greg Orenlian, unlikely to be suiting up the next time around, maybe more of an advisor. So who can step up and be maybe that second face-off guy? Stephen Kelly had a huge goal yesterday to lead that, start off that fourth quarter rally coming off the face-off. Tommy Kelly showed really well here. Joe Nardella really good at the Fall Classic. Oh, and T.D. Erlin's lingering there in the collegiate ranks. You know he's going to be get a look or two as well.
Yeah, a guy who likely is going to be highly coveted in the professional drafts come this spring as well, as he completes his final season at Yale. Amazing to think. You saw what Trevor did over the course of his career at Denver, and then TD has come in and very well may break just all of Baptiste's records. As we go end to end here to end the first half. It's been mostly white so far in this blue-white exhibition for Team USA. Both teams putting on a show. Marcus Holman leading the way, a couple of goals and an assist, 3 points for him. Tom Schreiber with a couple of helpers. White squad up 6-2. We'll be back here at the half from San Antonio. Well, you mentioned it yesterday. Really only 7 opportunities over the course of these next couple of years to get these guys together and try to figure out who you're going to take to the World Championships in 2022.
And I believe what Coach John Danowski had said, the quote was, culture and chemistry trumps talent. And culture has become a buzzword, but it's certainly something that played out in 2018. And they saw their methods validated in that World Championship victory, and they want to see it work again this go around.
A white squad back to work offensively off the face-off win to start the second half. Justin Gutterding, part of that offensive unit. Now Jake Fricaro out by the 40-yard line. Heacock dodges down the alley, moves it along, skip pass back out to Busick. Feed in front, good look for Cavanaugh, just couldn't put it on Cage. Gutterding hasn't been able to find a whole lot of space there at X. Bernhardt marking him here. Cavanaugh lost it. Blue team scoops it up.
Nice shot by Bernhardt there to emerge with the ground ball and deliver it to his goalkeeper.
Jesse Bernhardt, another one of those players that not only played in 2018, but also part of the 2014 World Championship team. Will be in the mix for a third go-around.
Younger brother Jared could potentially, emerge within the tryout process these next couple of years too. Can you imagine 3 Bernhardt brothers on one team?
Be pretty cool. Kind of recreating what the Pals did for that World Championship team, where you had Ryan, Mikey, and Casey on the U.S. squad. This is Schreiber. Ryan Brown now. Bounce shot. The sharpshooter using the turf to get one to go.
Team blue goal by number 4, Ryan Brown.
Ryan Brown is actually an underrated Dodger. He's not asked to do it much, if at all. And you can tell, catching the white defense off guard with that split to his left and then using the turf, as you say, for a tricky shot. Nice job by Brownie, number 4.
Talk so much about his shooting ability and his ability to stretch a defense, and you forget he can do more than just step down and rifle one. Off the face-off win. Stephen Kelly all the way through, but his stick checked. It's up in the stick of Bernlohr. Bernlohr and Jack Kincannon, your 2 goalies now. Kincannon here at this end of the field. Fracaro still looking for some space. Good cause turnover there by Blue.
Lo and behold, Mike Earhart harassing Fracaro, causing him to commit the turnover.
Will Manny, Jules Henningberg, now working from X. Now Henningberg slows things down as he rolls it out to Sergio Perkovic. Schreiber, pass across. Deemer Class, I think, got caught between a shot and a pass, and it ends up in Bernlohr's stick.
Yeah, it looked like he was expecting a cutter that wasn't there. So not much on the shot. Basically playing catch with the goalie there. Class had a big assist in yesterday's game.
He did.
That game-tying goal where he worked it through X to Henningberg. And the floodgates kind of open there.
Yeah, this U.S. team, we mentioned in the first half, had to come back in the 4th quarter to beat Japan. Ended up with a 3-goal win. Will Manny scored the go-ahead goal, also the goal that put him up 7-5. It's a tough spot for the U.S. to be in, kind of playing waves as Busick dodges here. Goal line extended, and it stays out, but the push will keep it with White. Today, everybody getting a lot of run. Schlosser moves along to Holman, now Gutterding. Up top to Busick. Spins back toward the middle. Heacock. Big physical dodger.
Good patience here by the White offense. They seem to have really bought into the concept of sustained possession under these international rules.
Holman trying to back down his man. Pass across. Kavanaugh has it knocked away for a second, gets it back. Hands free for Heacock, shoots wide.
At the same time, some pretty good disciplined defense by this blue set here. Again, you see those coaches way out on the field barking in their players' ears.
Schlosser tries to get downhill, swims into some traffic, but it ends up with Holman. Skip pass across, possession continues. Right there in front of head coach John Danowski. Heacock, push behind. Gutterding picks it up. Busick. Schlosser loses it. Blue finally comes up with a stop.
Great defensive stand by that blue squad. And Joe Amplo, the defensive coordinator, very happy with what he just saw.
Actually had to throw that pass to Kincannon over Amplo.
Yeah, it's a trip. I love this. Look at these coaches out here.
And Blue able to win a ground ball and get possession. They'll settle things down. Jules Henningberg has it in the corner. Henningberg coming off a 33-point season with the Redwoods in the PLL. Looking for one here. Skip pass out top. Step down shot for Janachuk is wide. Henningberg tried to force that into Manny. Henningberg gets it back.
This U.S. motion offense, most dangerous when you can have individuals that can dodge from a variety of spots on the field, be it the wing, X.
Crawley to Manny, tough angle. Brown there to back it up.
Get the defense rotating and backfill those spots with your offensive players.
Will Manny slings it to Janachuk. Pass in the middle, goes all the way through, and that's a turnover for Blue to give it back to White. A couple of good looks in that possession for the Blue squad, but nothing to show for it.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be a bit more fluidity from a team offense standpoint with U.S. White than there is with U.S. Blue.
Heacock tries to set a screen for Holman, and now back up top to Busick. Gutterding draws the slide, and takeaway chance here for Blue. Bernhardt with the ground ball. He's done a nice job against Gutterding there at X.
Nice help defense by Matt McMahon on the blue end.
Look away pass there to Steve DiNapoli, who's got a goal. The assist to Will Manny.
Steven DiNapoli, assisted by number 9, Will Manny.
Unsettled possession here for the U.S. coming off the cause turnover. DiNapoli stays on the field in transition, sees the opening coming down the middle, and it's Will Manny with the timely feed. And DNAP showing he could be a contributor on both ends of the field. Mentioned that last go-around in 2018, the injury he suffered that precluded him from traveling with the team to Israel, and just how hungry he is to be part of this process moving forward.
Your heart just breaks for him, knowing that he was on that team, made the team, did all the work, and then not able to make that trip. Certainly a guy that I think you root for internally, hoping that he gets maybe another opportunity here in this next go-round.
Yeah, and it was really hard for him even to watch any of the games that were happening over there in Israel because of how devastating that was, how hard he had worked to make it onto that team. Now he's got to do it all over again.
Manny slings one wide.
But coach has said he looked as good as he ever has back at that Fall Classic at U.S. Lacrosse in October, and earned another nod here at the Spring Premiere.
Henningberg almost had it taken away. It keeps it alive. That one wide, and no backup for Blue. Under 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. White holding on to a 6-4 lead. You can tell part of the messaging from this U.S. coaching staff is we want to play this like an international game. You know, with all these guys, what they do professionally, they very well, if they wanted to, could be playing on an up and down track meet here today, but really a focus on playing as if they would be playing in those world championships.
And it's somewhat frustrating for them because it's not as fun. You know, it's definitely not as fun of a style to play. A lot of people who will bemoan the lack of any shot clock or any possession time limits whatsoever in the international rules. But you also have to remember that, you know, the international lacrosse community does not necessarily revolve around the U.S. or around North America. There's 50 some odd countries playing this game under these rules. And so it's really on the U.S. side, their responsibility to assimilate.
Yeah, you got to adapt to the rules in which you're playing. Which means, in a lot of ways, slow it down, make sure you get good opportunities. Schlosser here has his pass deflected. White keeps it alive. Cavanaugh to trigger things in. Gutterding, feed, shot wide. Holman sends it in front. Brings us to the end of the third quarter. White continue to stay in control. They've got a 2-goal lead in this blue-white exhibition. So the best players in the country putting on a show here in San Antonio. The two face-off guys, Team USA brought down to San Antonio, continuing to battle it out.
And that's not to say that there are not phenomenal coaches in the Premier Lacrosse League, Major League Lacrosse, and National Lacrosse League. But in all three, you basically get one practice a week, maybe a walkthrough, and then it's game time, and then the players go back to their regularly scheduled lives. And that's really difficult for those coaches to have that kind of influence in that setting. The way these U.S. coaches are trying to do here in this setting, and then especially as you get closer to the games where you have a training camp and then the 7 games in 10 days and really that opportunity to be around each other every single day.
This is Schlosser who's come back to try to clear. Newman, Bernlohr there in cage for the white team. Jack Kincannon still in cage at the other end. Marcus Holman goes to work with a 2-goal lead. Long pass up to Heacock. Schlosser almost stepped over midfield. I don't think he realized where he was.
Tricky lines here at UIW.
Now, typically used to having lacrosse lines here at University of the Incarnate Word. Do have an MCLA program, though. Holman, bounce shot goes. Good individual effort from Marcus Holman. He's got a hat trick.
Marcus Holman.
The master of no angle shooting, and he uses goal line extended. The inside roll and the little bouncer, and you can see Kincannon pretty upset with himself for not holding his pipe as Holman's able to sneak it into the goal.
Impressive day so far for Marcus Holman with 3 goals and an assist. And check this out at the this blue end, you have Coach Janowski, who's come out on the field and is talking with the defense and with goalie Jack Kincannon. Pausing the start of play. This is what we're talking about, coaching right away. You realize all these players are going to leave and go their separate ways essentially right after this game. Not a lot of time to go over game film or look back at what happened. So, hey, instant instruction.
Very cool, very, very unique thing to see at this level with this caliber of player. To see coaches on the field coaching, interacting with that kind of proximity.
This is Busick. White offense has done good job making the most of their possessions. That shot stopped. Schlosser has it knocked down by Kincannon, and here comes Blue. Tucker Durkin gets it to the offensive personnel. Will Haas subs off. There's Schreiber. This weekend, our first chance to see Schreiber in a red, white, and blue uniform since he scored that game-winning goal in 2018's gold medal game against Canada. Continues to remind us why he's considered by many as the best in the world.
He's one of the guys that truly appreciated that experience in Israel. Team USA stayed in a kibbutz. Spent a lot of time together. One day they cut the guys loose to go spend time with their family. It was a free day. He didn't leave the kibbutz. He says he just doesn't, he wants to absorb as much of that as possible.
By the way, congrats to Tom Schreiber, who just recently got engaged. His fiance, a Team USA field hockey player. Jake Bernhardt brings it to the other end.
And Schreiber, despite all of his success, has not a hint of an ego about him. He's one of the all-around good guys in the sport. One of the cool things that even though he was injured these last few go-rounds with the U.S. team for these exhibition weekends, he showed up. He was there to support his teammates and to have a presence. And to some of these either younger guys or those getting run for the first time in the USA set, that resonates.
One of the maybe most humble superstars in any sport that you will ever meet, Tom Schreiber. Peacock, now Kavanaugh. Henningberg trying to get it back to Kavanaugh, eventually does. Good ball movement here for Caro. Busick has it stopped by Kincannon.
That's a nice look there for Busick. You know, whereas yesterday we wanted to see the shooters such as Busick, Chanachuk, Furcaro settling for something outside. They're doing a much better job today, putting themselves in position to get better looks on the goal. Busick not pulling the trigger, instead tucking that stick back in and getting a point-blank look on the goal.
By the way, what a cool moment for the Kavanaughs. Pat and Matt having a chance to travel down here together. So Patrick Kavanaugh, of course, played for the US U19 team, had a great game today. They beat Japan earlier this morning. Saw it on Lac Sports Network.
And it's definitely like deja vu watching Matt operate in this setting and Pat doing what he did against Japan earlier. Their games are so similar.
Similar build, similar ways in which they move. Honestly, it's sometimes can be tough to tell them apart on the field. Sergio Perkovic dodges, moves it behind. Hanningberg. Now Manny. Past the midway point of this fourth quarter. Schreiber draws help. His pass knocked down.
It's at least the second cause turnover we've seen out of Zach Goodrich in this game. Another one of those first-time players, 11 of them here, suiting up for the U.S. this weekend.
A guy who the coaching staff told us they feel like has a legit shot to make that 2022 World Championship team, and has really, I mean, he was the midfielder of the year, not short stick defensive midfielder of the year in college lacrosse a year ago, and he was a star at Towson. Only 3-time captain in the Tigers program history. An impressive young man. Pretty move by Busick. Moves it to Fraccara. Now Schlosser has to deal with some pressure. Look at the speed from Schlosser.
That's what he does. He's going to win the matchup down the alley more times than not.
Fracaro has a step. Good help there. Kavanaugh feeds down low, kept out. I think Kincannon got a piece. Holman moves it along. And good look there as Gutterding was open on the doorstep, but just a little off.
Yeah, no shame in that turnover. That was a really good feed. The ball movement on that possession, it's been kind of a theme all game long for this white team. That as the coaches are looking at player combinations, they're going to have to like what they see when they look at what they strolled out in the white pennies today. They just seem a lot more comfortable with each other, you know, than what we've seen out of the blue squad.
Will Manny settling things down under 5 minutes to go. John Crawley operates part of this midfield. Now an assistant coach at Lehigh. Crawley gets free and he scores. John Crawley dodges the alley, gets the hands there in the middle and able to capitalize.
Fresh legs for the blue team. John Crawley out of the midfield. And you see a little bit of a late help there from Jared Newman, number 11 in white. Crawley dances inside and scores. Had a goal yesterday, too, to ice the 8-5 win over Japan. So yet another among those newcomers. And coaches think this guy's a rising star, not only on the lacrosse field, but in the coaching profession.
Absolutely. Joined that Lehigh staff with Kevin Cassis this year after a year at Colgate. Also spent some time when he was first out of Hopkins at Notre Dame. And here he is out of the box, another shot, that one wide. And you listen to him speak, and his ability to diagram offenses has really impressed a lot of people in the coaching community. Keep an eye on his name as different openings come up in the coming years. Blue squad really moving it around. Schreiber stopped. Schreiber went airborne there.
Yeah, really good job by Phipps, the goalie, to stay with that, hold his ground. Schreiber trying to get the goalie to move, a little bit of a box-type maneuver. Phipps not biting.
We'll step aside. Under 3 minutes to go. A couple more minutes of action and watch some of the best team players in the United States duel it out. 7-5 White at the moment. Welcome back here to San Antonio. Shout out to our camera guys up here, getting some sun. We got John and Bart manning the top two cameras, and we got Tony down on the field. Shout out to them for all their work all weekend. They get more sun than us, Matt. We're up here in the press box. I'm not going to see this kind of sun for months up in the Northeast.
Yeah, and the production quality has been outstanding for these 4 games this weekend. Can't thank Lac Sports Network and the production crew here enough for what they've done.
Been a lot of fun to be part of this 2020 U.S. Lacrosse Spring Premiere. San Antonio, Texas has been an awesome location, great crowd. Great job being able to expose some new people to the sport of lacrosse and this elite talent. Marcus Holman now working with it. The White squad a chance to practice kind of running out the clock. Holman sends one to the empty net. And another timeout taken off of that shot from Holman. Coaching staff gonna take every last chance they can to coach these guys up.
Teaching moments, all of them. And this coaching staff has the experience now of having played under international rules for an extended period of time. And so it's getting these guys ingrained in that mindset, that mentality. And here it's, how do you stall for potentially 2 minutes? How do you play keep away for 2 minutes for the white team? For the blue team,
how do you get the ball back?
If you're in his position, what are you going to do to create the turnover, especially against some slick ball handlers such as our rivals to the north, Team Canada? These are important lessons in this setting.
See Coach John Danowski in there in the huddle doing some teaching, and we mentioned it during the U19 team. Not only having a chance to talk to this men's national team, but also different times throughout the weekend has said some words to the U19 squad, giving them a feel for what he's talking to the senior guys about, which I thought was really interesting. In him talking yesterday, he was kind of giving the game plan for what the U.S. men's national team is doing this weekend, developing a kind of a culture of, all right, I'm not just a U19 player, I'm a part of Team USA, and developing kind of the same thoughts and mindsets as they come up through the system.
And also an opportunity for them to be able to internalize what they're seeing on the field and use it as part of their growth as players moving forward, not only within the U.S. program, but for their respective college teams.
So here we go, White, under 2 minutes to go. trying to play keep away and preserve this win. Instead, whistle here and goes against blue. White keeps possession. Colin Heacock in some trouble. Loses it. Heacock trying to get it back, but can't. Garrett Eppel. So now we see what the blue can do. Tom Schreiber quickly the other way. Schreiber feeds. Brown finishes. Doesn't take long when these guys want to get it going. Schreiber with another assist. Ryan Brown's second goal of the day.
Blue gets the turnover that they need, quickly transitioning up the field. Schreiber draws the slide. Ryan Brown with the backfill and the finish right in front of the goal. Make it a 1-goal game here now with 1:08 left to play, and having a little fun there with his teammate is Will Manny, giving Brown his props.
Add a little excitement to this. Ryan Brown, a guy who's now based in Texas, coaches a club team here in Dallas. He's part of that Highland Park high school coaching staff as well last year, and got a chance to take a short drive. Well, short, about 4 hours or so from Dallas down here to San Antonio. But like me, had never been to San Antonio before, so he was excited to come check out a different part of his state. Face-off win here for White. Kavanaugh dances out of some traffic, and same thing as we've got another timeout, preserving possession. So you get toward a minute to go here at Benson Stadium.
Yeah, and coming out of this, the last time, White did not look quite as organized as you would have hoped out of a timeout. They basically instantly saw the double team and just tried to run their way through it. They were able to kill some of the clock, but not much. And so, big face-off win for Tommy Kelly. Win it back to his White squad, and now once again the blue team has to find a way to win the ball back and score here in this last 67 seconds.
As we pause things, let's look at the weekend as a whole. What stands out to you this whole weekend from the spring premiere?
I'll tell you what stands out to me first and foremost is the local lacrosse community showing up for this event. Texas did lacrosse proud this weekend. What a crowd there was yesterday. The weather has been beautiful. The clinic was very well attended. The game is in good hands here in Central Texas. As far as on the field, looking at this U.S. senior team, I think there was some humble pie that happened in that game against Japan. It was not a pretty showing whatsoever. An 8-5 win for the U.S. senior men, but had to come back in the fourth quarter and perhaps learned a little bit more about themselves, about how they'll respond in situations that become very frustrating with the international rules, when you're just sitting and sitting and sitting on possessions as opponents are wont to do. As far as the U19 boys, they looked phenomenal.
Really
they
good.
were a buzzsaw this weekend, sharing the ball on offense. Defense was locked down. They gave up 5 goals in 2 games. That's pretty impressive work for the U.S. U19 men. And they're, of course, preparing for the World Championship this summer. They are in a World Championship cycle, so I'm not surprised to see that they were the most polished and together of the teams that we saw throughout the spring premiere.
Yeah, really, as expected, is that U19 team down to 26 players. 23 of them will travel to Ireland this summer, be part of the World Championships in July in Limerick. Such high excitement for that tournament. As the White squad pauses it again. Like the end of a basketball game here, we keep pausing things. Reset. Take a look at some of the players that are back in the mix here, coming off that 2018 World Championship in Israel. Guys that are back here. Rob Pennell was supposed to be here, ended up not being here this weekend. So 9 guys from this World Championship team making the trip down here to San Antonio. And you get the sense, because you got guys that have been part of 2 world championships already that still want to be in the mix. I think a lot of them had such a great experience in 2018. They obviously are still hungry for more.
Yeah, and there's no question about what these U.S. coaches want in terms of the makeup of their roster. They like veteran players. They want old guys, not old past their prime, but guys, they want men, people who have been around, who have had the experiences, who know what it's like to win and to lose in this competition. As you see, there a couple of those guys are in their 3rd go-around. Jesse Bernhardt, Tucker Durkin, Rob Pennell, as you mentioned. So that veteran presence is something that they're looking for, and so certainly I would expect them to stay in the mix as we move forward.
Holman sends it to the corner here. Bernhardt trying to track it down. Turned over. Blue gets it back. See what they can do with under 50 seconds to go. This is Richard. Now Brown. Blue trying to tie this thing late. Good situational lacrosse for both of these teams here. The end. Crawley. Now Perkovic. Long range shot sent wide. 11 seconds to go. Manny to Schreiber. Does Schreiber have any more magic? His pass a little wide, and I think that'll do it with 3 seconds to go. Phipps sends it to the other end and brings this one to a close.
And your final score, Team White 7.
Some fun stuff
Team
between the blue and the whites in this blue-white exhibition for Team USA. We'll put a bow on the weekend here from San Antonio when we come back.